Hi piccolo players, welcome back to another segment of the Nutcracker. In this video I'm going to cover only the scene that starts Act 2, which is scene 10, where we have this horrible B or E major scale that starts on a B and ends on that high B, and then we have to play it 16 times to make it worse. At least it's supposed to be loud, so thank God for that. So I'm going to go over my practice strategies for this and any other things that I think about that might be helpful for your practicing. So starting off, when I have to do this, I'll do things like practicing this scale in sets of 4. So like that, and you could go faster, like while I'm thinking of it, I do use the middle F sharp, especially for a passage like this, because E to F sharp, it just comes out better, and you really need your airstream as you're going up to have resistance on it. So like you're blowing against a wall that's coming towards you, maybe, or a hand, it's a better analogy, that's coming towards you. So your airstream is like is always, so that your airstream always has resistance on it. I can't think of another way to say it right now, but never tight in the embouchure. So if you get the thing as you're going up, your embouchure is too tight and you're probably also blowing too much air. But anyway, so I do the dugga dugga, and then the last but it up at the top a bunch of times. And then after that I would do 4 notes plus downbeat, and then whatever's left at the top. So at the top you just have G sharp A B, and you can't do alternate G sharp. There's no time. I mean, if you can, then that's great. But you have to really extra make sure from the F sharp, G sharp, that your air, that you're got a hold of your airstream. So one more time I would do it like this. I'll go a little slower. So the airspeed stays fast, but you do not blow more quantity of air. I think that's key. What's another way I practice it? I would do, how I think of it, after I've done those 2 things, and you can make up your own, groupings of notes to drill it. But when I'm in the orchestra, I know when I'm playing, because it's in 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2 is about the tempo. Is that right? Yeah, da, da. Yeah. I always aim for the high E. Da, E, bop. Da, E, da. So in my fingers, it may not be perfect on my way up, but if I can grab hold of that E exactly on beat 3, I can do da, okay, if I'm in good shape in the high register. So you have to do some upper register exercises. So if I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was a little messy going up, but I landed on the E. And with the full orchestra, no one's gonna notice. So I don't know, I did something weird. But E, 1, 2, E, G, 1, 2, E, B. So again, dun, dun, like that, and then so those are not perfect as I'm playing them, but I'm getting to the high B. It's very difficult and you can't hide at all, but you just want to make sure your scale is not sounding intense or angry or like Shostakovich or something. It's supposed to sound magical. So you just want to try to get to the high B without making a spectacle of yourself if possible. And I really think that the key is the airspeed staying fast with your embouchure providing resistance onto the airstream, which a lot of that is the bottom lip coming forward and the airstream coming through the inside of the lips more. Is how I kind of think of it. I'm just going to do it in slow motion and see if that's true. Yeah. So as I'm going up, da 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 is what I feel like I'm doing. So you just need to practice slowly like that to make sure you can get up to the high B without a huge struggle. If it's a big struggle to get up to, past the E, you need to go back and do a lot of high register exercises with an experiment with angle of air, speed of air, and so you can get to, through that high stuff without too much effort. So I'm gonna try it a couple more times, just going E and then dug it up, because that's how I practice it a lot. So again, those are my 3 ways I would practice it. Sets of 4, and making sure when you get to the top that you're not spitty, that you just keep everything very still. Yaga daga, yada da da, da 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 da, da da da. Using kind of almost the same air speed, or the speed gets faster as you get up. But again, you don't blow through it. I say this all the time, but you don't want to blow through like you would play, or like you can play on the flute, like you can just really blow through the flute, and it can be effective. But on the or you're not gonna like get into a spitty mess, or your notes aren't going to not speak at all if you blow too much. But on the piccolo, if you do that, there's just literally nowhere for that air to go. It's so tiny. So as you go up, you cannot blow a wider air stream. It has to just be faster as you go up. And make sure your top lip, as you're blowing your airstream, your top lip is not being blown forward a little bit, So again, the different ways I would practice is in sets of 4 notes going up, and then whatever's left at the top. It may not even all the way out exactly. And then sets of 4 plus downbeat. Sometimes that takes a little bit to figure out, because it's written in sets of 5, or I don't know, it's just written kind of weird. Anyway, if you just think E major scale and then just go up 4 notes plus downbeat, that's a good way. And then whatever's left at the top. And then going up the scale and landing on the E. Because that to me is my I feel like that's where my safety note is, where I can get my fingers a hold of there. So if it's not great on the way up, at least I get the E. Like that. That's in my mind what I'm like latching onto. All right, so after this scene is over, which is always like a moment, then we start in the character dances. So next video up will be on Le Chocolat. So that's the Spanish dance. So the next video will be on that. Make sure you hit subscribe, and then you will get notifications about when I put up the next videos in this series. So I'm just gonna go through the whole Nutcracker and just do a little like mini lesson, a little practice guide on at least what I do and how I go about practicing each of these scenes on mostly the piccolo. I'm not sure if I'll cover any third flute, maybe. We'll see. All right, so thanks for watching, and I will see you at the next video.